Hello, welcome to More Influence and Impact, the show that unlocks secrets of success for multi-six and seven-figure business owners. I'm your host, Celia Faye Meisel, sales growth consultant, and I'm here to help you tap into the wealth of knowledge, experience, and strategies of today's most influential industry leaders. I'm going to bring up my guest here, Kathy Goughenour. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Perfect.
Yay, I've been practicing.
You're good. Even I can't say it right sometimes.
Ah, Kathy is like a business building fairy godmother for professional women and business owners. With her magic powers, she transforms ordinary businesses into six-figure plus wonders. She grants women the freedom to dance like nobody's watching and the flexibility to work in their PJs because who needs pants anyway? She also helps her clients and students find financial success to buy all the shoes they desire or fill their closets with whatever they want, right? So forget Prince Charming and waiting for him because Kathy is here to make business dreams come true, one sparkle infused step at a time. And she is here with her tiara. Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite one, my most flamboyant one. I wore it special for you guys.
I love it. I love it, Kathy. So tell us about your business and what you do, because this whole fairy godmother and magical powers and all of that, it just brings so much intrigue. So what do you do and who do you serve?
So, my business, the way I make money is I train and coach professional women who want to become virtual assistants, which is I have a higher level than a virtual assistant, which I call a virtual expert.
Okay.
And those are people who specialize in whatever it is that a business owner may need. I train them how to build a business, run a business, and support their clients with what I call the 3 Ps: professional, proactive, problem solving, because that's what I find business owners really want in their independent contractors.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, on the other side, for free, I help entrepreneurs, business owners of all types find the perfect fit for them in the virtual experts. So for free, I'll have a conversation with you and help you identify the next hire you need to make, who might be the best fit for that, and I give you the referrals for free.
Wow. And that really serves your clients, your students that come through your program, because essentially you're helping them to get clients because you're doing that matchmaking and pairing for them. And so it
Right.
really brings a value to your business as well to do that. And that's very
Absolutely.
generous of you.
Well, I found that unless you've done this successfully, and by done this, I mean had independent contractors on your team and done it successfully, you really need some insights from somebody like me, who my entire team, I have about 14 on my team, and they're all independent contractors. And I've been running my business, and I've had multiple six-figure businesses and seven-figure business. I've been running it that way since 2001.
Wow. Wow. So you have a lot of experience and can provide wisdom and kind of guide to help navigate that hiring process.
That's right.
And so I know for my audience, they're in the place where they're definitely always looking to hire, always looking for great team. And knowing that somebody that they're hiring has been trained at a high level to really serve and like do your 3 Ps, and repeat what the 3 Ps are again.
Professional, problem solving, and proactive, which means they don't wait for you to say, here's what you need to do. You
Yeah.
give them your goal and the deadline by when you want it, and they get the work done.
Incredible. And you coined the term virtual expert. Like you actually have that trademarked and
Yeah.
registered.
Yes, because what I discovered as a virtual assistant myself, back in 2001, um, I was at a very much higher level than the average admin out there. And in most people's mind, the perception of a VA is you're a general admin. And
Yeah.
that's not what I train people to be, are general admins. Now, do I have some general admins if that's what you're looking for? Sure. But for most of us, that's not really who we need. We need somebody who's already an expert at what they do. So, for example, a bookkeeper or a social media manager or somebody who can run your tech, whether it's Kajabi or Kartra or Keep or any of those things. They already know how to do that.
Wow. And then you're not having to train them up. Because I always say, like, what are the non-negotiables that if you're going to be hiring, like say I'm hiring for sales, what are the non-negotiables of that role, of that hire? And then what are the things that I can train and teach them on? I don't want to get somebody who's never sold before and have to teach them sales, but
No.
teaching them my values and my mission and like the nuanced language that I use in my company, like I can do that. And so I think that it goes the same in this conversation. It's like if they want an expert and they want somebody to fill a specific role, like hiring, your friend or this assistant or whatever who has no experience there and then hoping that they're going to get the job done is pretty much wishful thinking.
Celia, you hit the nail on the head because, and I do have virtual experts who have specialized in being salespeople.
Okay.
Very few, but they do have experience and results that they can share with anybody who's looking for a salesperson. And you're exactly right. They already know how to have the conversation, how to close. All they need to learn about is your product and your values and brand.
Exactly. And so what would you say, really distinguishes like the people that have been trained up with you and certified as are they certified to be virtual experts?
Yes, I do have a certification program. Yes.
Amazing. Yeah. So what would you say is like really the unique differentiation factor in terms of like how they really show up and serve their clients?
So, as I said, I've been in this industry exclusively in this virtual assistant, independent contractor, support professional industry since 2001. It has been my life's mission. And I've seen it all. And I will tell you, 80% of those who say, I'm a virtual assistant, have no idea what they're doing. And when I've interviewed business owners, their number one complaint is they are ghosted by those people. And what happens is they're not professional. They haven't been trained how to really support business owners, and they get scared and just leave and don't want to have contact anymore because they've messed something up or they can't complete a project. Now, there are people who have learned on their own how to do this, but the people that I train, I have purposely taken them through a year-long program where they learn exactly how to support clients, how to ask questions to onboard. And one of my biggest pet peeves when I was first hiring VAs, so the reason I created this program was because as a VA, I couldn't keep up with the number of clients I had. I needed to hire VAs. They were not of the caliber that I was looking for because I don't like it when an independent contractor gives me homework. Okay? Celia, have you ever had that where you're thinking about hiring somebody and they're giving you homework to do?
Yeah.
That's not going to help me. What I want them to say, here's what we're going to do to onboard you. Here's the information I need from you. They gather that data and then they have it forever and can proceed and do the work for you. So within 90 days or less, a virtual expert is going to have hit the road running and be really performing for you. A virtual assistant who will constantly be asking you questions, needing your guidance, needing supervision. So to me, that's the biggest difference.
Waiting around to get the next task, waiting for the next thing.
Right.
Yeah. And especially, I work with a lot of visionaries, like my visionary entrepreneur CEOs are my people. And so they're not integrators at all. Like for me, I'm very process driven. I have a lot of SOPs. I'm always like systemizing. And so for me, like I can kind of get a VA up and trained pretty quickly. But for somebody and I'm like the exception, not the norm, but for visionaries, it's very much like it's constant chaos. I mean, they are literally working for their assistants. And I've seen this so many times where they can't even do like revenue generating activities because they're answering Slack messages all day from
Yeah.
team members who are really disconnected from the reality of like your job is to help your client get results and get sales and get, and get hit their revenue goals, entertain you in Slack all afternoon, 7 days a week.
Or irritate you in Slack all afternoon.
Ooh.
So what I'm always looking for, and this goes back to the proactive of those 3 Ps, is someone who is going to bring me ideas on how to save money and or how to make more money.
Ooh,
So
okay.
for example, I needed to cut back on expenses this year, and I messaged my team and said, please come to our next Monday morning meeting with ideas on how to cut expenses without cutting our customer service or our ability to grow revenue. And they did. They came with ideas I wouldn't have thought of because they're in there, just like you said, they're the integrators. I'm the visionary. When I was trying to run my own business, it was nothing but chaos.
Yeah.
But now I have an operations manager, I have a fractional COO, and I have people below them. They run the rest of my team. I only meet with those 2. They run the rest of my team I use Kajabi, I have a bookkeeper, all of those different things. And for example, when somebody specializes in a software program like Kajabi that can do so many things, I don't even understand all the things it can do. I don't want to have to learn all of that and figure out how to integrate it with ActiveCampaign. So I have an expert on my team who works in Kajabi and ActiveCampaign and can do all of that. And then when I say, hey, I've got a new idea, here's what I want to do, how can we make that happen with Kajabi? They know how. I don't have to know how to do that.
Yes, that's really key. So let's get into some of the more nuanced. We'll just go in kind of some of the nuts and bolts questions. Like, so you recommend having maybe more team members that are experts versus like a couple generalists. So
Absolutely.
how do you recommend people like hire, like, because let's say that it's like Kajabi, let's say Kajabi may not be a great example, but let's say that you have something that you do quarterly. Like, do you bring that expert back on every quarter, or do you kind of like keep them on a retainer? Like, how does that work if you have things that aren't necessarily like ongoing inside of the business?
Yeah, so I have a perfect example. I do a live event once a year. And with little things, yes, you have to do a couple of little things throughout the year for that event, but primarily it's like the 6 months right before the event, and then the 3 months right before the event that you really have to dig in.
Yeah.
So I recommend setting up a contract with somebody like that based on your actual needs, so that you're not having to pay them to work on the event all the time. You're only paying them when the event is actually occurring. Okay? And there's a couple of different ways to do that. I'm really big on either package rates or what I call not to be exceeded monthly budgets, which is a cap that's set. So for example, with an event, I don't have anything happening at all for months and months, so I don't pay them anything. I have a contract with them. They are, locked in to work with me during that event time. But until we start ramping up for that event, I'm paying them nothing or something very little, right? And once that event time ramps up, they know that they have a cap of, let's say, 20 hours a month on the event, okay? Or a package rate of X once that package rate time kicks in. And then I pay them based on that. So essentially, I'm only paying on an as-needed basis. And that's how I train people in my program to price.
Okay. And that's perfect, because that segues into another question I was going to ask you around pricing, hourly rate versus monthly retainer versus packages. And so it's a similar
And I can tell you right now, I am very opposed to a retainer.
Okay. Why?
And this is coming from somebody who, I made my living as a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And to me, a retainer is like, that's like a lawyer that you have to pay a retainer. You shouldn't have to pay your independent contractor a retainer. Now, monthly packages, once you get to know the person or they are at that level of expertise where they can command that ongoing rate, then yeah, I'm willing to pay that.
Okay.
So for example, for my operations manager, I pay her about $2,500 a month every month.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? Oh, hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because she runs my business, right? And I can tell you right now, when you have somebody really good doing that, that you're getting more value than the $3,000 you're paying,
Exactly.
by far, because she saved me that much per month. She's earned me that much more per month, and on and on. And that's really how I look at things: is this person helping me save money, earn more money, for that ROI on what I'm paying her?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question, and something really good to look at. And then, um, so you're anti-retainer,
I
you're
am.
more, and then do you say, like, let's say that you're going to do like a monthly package with someone? Is
Mhm.
it based on hours or deliverables?
Deliverables. I
Okay.
like it based on deliverables. And here's a big reason for that. Number one, it takes one person a lot longer to do something than it takes another person. And that difference in time does not equate to the difference in the deliverables.
That's true.
So what I'm looking for is the deliverable, especially for like graphic designers and writers, those creatives. If you pay them based on hours, you are asking for trouble there, because they can nitpick stuff and work on one color or one phrase for hours,
Yeah.
right? Or you can pay them a flat rate per blog post, or a flat rate per sales page, or a flat rate per graphic design.
Yeah.
Um, or you can have, once you get used to them and you like them, then you can have that monthly package where you have the deliverables.
Okay. Okay. Yes, because I've really seen too with the hourly, what I've seen is a couple things where you'll get people that are really slow, and they kind of wait and they batch it and they do it all, and then you'll have people that are really fast and efficient. And I find that then they're used to, like, okay, I'm on the clock, I'm working, okay, I'm done. And I find that the people that are kind of fast, they tend to be more rushed, and there's a lot more room for mistakes, and we have to kind of go back. It's like, look, you don't have to like hold your breath while you do this. But I think they kind of get into that. So I think that it's like setting up the pricing model and the compensation model in a way that's really a win-win for both parties, where it's super clear on what the deliverables are, and also like what the client wants as that outcome. And I think that there's just a lot of education that's needed there for business owners. And so that's why I'm really glad we're having this conversation, to open up some shifts in thinking about how the listeners might be paying or compensating, or what angle they're taking right now with their team.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to look at all of those things, and just know that if they've got deliverables in a package that you don't want, you can negotiate that. You can say,
Mhm.
this deliverable, I don't want. I have somebody
Yeah.
else doing that, or that's not something I need in my business. How can you adjust this package to remove that? And they're
Perfect.
willing to do that.
Yes, I have a story. This brings me back to years ago. I was really at the first time of like hiring people to help me like do SOPs and processes. I'd had a big growth in my business and was, kind of coming on to the next level. And so I remember hiring a woman, and she wasn't hourly. It was deliverables. And so she said, "Okay, I'm going to help you with this, this, and this." And she kind of gave me like the three core areas, and then she gave me the rate. And I can't remember what the time frame was, but we were about 6 weeks to 2 months in. I said, "Hey, wait a second. We're not even touching this area. Like, we've done this and this, but we haven't done anything on this." And so we renegotiated the package to meet, because I just wasn't at the level to even need that extra level of service. And so I think that's where it comes to the business owner to be able to like really advocate and communicate. But also I think that your team member that you hire should also be looking at, like, hey, I've noticed that we haven't used this yet. Like, I don't want you to pay for things that you're not using.
100%. And that's another reason why I don't like retainers.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, and I'm going to pick on a couple of the VAs who really are into retainer rates, because
Okay.
there are a lot of them out there, and they say, well, I'm setting aside this time to do this work for them, so I should be paid for it.
Yeah.
Well, why the heck do you have to set aside time? Don't you know how to manage your own business so that you can get work done that needs to be done? If that's how you are, I don't want to work with you. I want you really good at managing your own time, and I don't want to pay for you to sit around doing nothing. And I will tell you, some of those VAs who have those retainer rates, they have said to me, I have clients who haven't had me do half the work that they're paying me for months. And I'm like, have you gone to them and said, and be proactive and say, hey, I really think you should reduce the retainer that you have with me because you're not using it. Or how can I help you use it better?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, then I'd have to actually do the work. And I'm not kidding you, Celia. I know that sounds terrible, but that's what has given, I think, the virtual assistant industry a bad name, are people who are not professional and do not understand that they need to be proactive and don't really accept the responsibility for making this the client that they're working with working as if it's their own business. And that's what I'm always looking for. I want somebody who will look at my business, look at me and say, I enjoy working with you and your purpose in running this business so much that I am willing to work as if it's my own business. And that's what I'm always looking for, Celia.
Absolutely, Kathy. I am right there with you because I just see, like, you're calling out the calling out those VAs. I mean, I see it so often with agencies and, like, oh, I'm sure we could do a whole other episode on that where they just want, you sign up with them and they say all the right things on the call. And then you get in there and it's like, okay, the level of delivery for what I'm paying there is not a match. And so I think it's a two-way street. One is like the business owner, CEO, really like having standard and integrity and holding that accountability to anybody that they hire so that they don't feel taken advantage of. Right. Because there is that difference between like abdication and delegation, which
100%. That's what I was getting ready to say. Delegate, abdicate.
Yes.
Because I made that mistake of abdicating, thinking I don't even need to be involved now. Oh, you've still got to be involved.
Yes, 100%, 100%. But I think that there's a lot of coaching out there that gets owners kind of in that mindset to lean toward the abdication because they don't understand. It's like, well, you need that freedom and you just need to get that off your plate. And you're better. People feel like I'm better than that. I'm too good to do this now because I'm the CEO. But it's like, wait a second, reality check. Like, it's still your business. You still have that responsibility. But then the other side of the coin is that I feel like for me as a consultant, like my clients' results are number one. Like if my clients aren't winning and I'm not taking a stand for them winning, like why even have a business? Absolutely. And so I feel like on the service provider, agency, virtual expert, virtual assistant, that same level of care around client results needs to happen. Because I feel like business coaches especially get a lot of pressure about client results. But then you have all these other people that are charging lots of money for their services and client results just aren't number one.
Well, and that 80-20 rule, it applies to all of this. So those 80% of agencies and VAs out there who aren't doing the job that, we really expect them to do, there are those 20% who are knocking it out of the park.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't still have a team full of independent contractors. In fact, I wouldn't still have this business if I didn't know that 20% were out there. Now, I will tell you that in my opinion, and of course I am biased, just like a mama is, the virtual experts in my program that have gone through my program and become certified, they're not just the top 20%. They are the top 1%. They're truly in there for the right reasons. And I will not refer them to people if they aren't, because that's my reputation on the line. So I know every one of them personally. I know what they're doing. I know how they're working. And they have to recertify annually. And we have a checklist that we go through of, do they have happy clients? Do they have the testimonials to prove it? and on and on and on. So
wow, that is incredible, that standard. It's not just, okay, here's your certification, see you. Like there is
no.
continuing education, continued development, continued recertification. That's really powerful, Kathy. And so you're holding that standard of accountability, because if they're still claiming to be a virtual expert in 5 years, go down the road and they've kind of let their skills get rusty, or they're not really running the business anymore. Like you don't want that. Your
And
business.
it doesn't take 5 years anymore. 5 months can make a difference. And one other thing that we haven't touched on yet that I just want to bring up is AI. Yeah. How is AI changing this?
Let's talk about it. It's a hot topic.
And what I will tell you is that in my program, I've already done training on how to use AI, why to use AI, how to let your clients know you're using AI, because that is a benefit you're bringing to that client. That's just one more thing that your client doesn't have to learn in depth, is how to use AI the best to get the best results. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a lot of people out there that have the misconception of, I don't need an independent contractor anymore now that AI is here. I can do it myself. Not true. Just like any other new software or technology advancement that comes out, it usually means you need an independent contractor who knows how to use it even more than ever before. So that's what I've done in my group, is I've taught them how to use it, why to use it, and always to be upfront with your clients about what you're doing with it and how it's going to benefit the client.
Absolutely. I feel that AI, because there's fears of, like you said, like you said, oh, people can be replaced, right, by AI. Like, oh, I don't need this or that anymore. I have AI. But what I see is AI opening up opportunities. I actually see it inside of my business, of ways that I can use AI to, especially in the marketing front, like get more marketing materials, and then bring on a marketing support person and have them, and even looking at like bringing on somebody to actually run the AI for clients and adding on new services for my clients. So I see a lot of opportunity for innovation. And I think that as consultants, business owners, for the virtual experts who listen to this, and, people in the virtual assistant world as well, continuing to develop that skill set and stay on top of things will keep you relevant in the marketplace. So it's not something to be fearful of. And I love that you're bringing that into your business, because it is so important, and people will want to know, not only are you like knowledgeable, but are you kind of keeping up to date with the times, because things are shifting really quickly.
Yeah, they are. And anybody who's listening to this, whether you're a business owner, like, coach, or a creator, or you're a support person, you got to learn AI, and it's not hard. I am not a techie person, and I've got it figured out. So
nice. Do you have a favorite platform, or using ChatGPT or something else?
I have actually participated in a lot of training over the last 4 months, and I will tell you, ChatGPT is really all you need right now.
Yeah.
If you do something super specialized and you want to use that super specialized ChatGPT, go for it. But my training is use ChatGPT. And once you're really used to that, if you want to add on one additional thing and try it for 90 days and see if it's worth whatever you're paying for it, do that. Otherwise, just keep using ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have found, like, I'm a Notion person. I love Notion. I run my whole business through Notion, and some Google Drive, but primarily Notion. And so I did invest in Notion AI, because it can do things like, I can take a PDF and copy and paste it and say, hey, format this for Notion. And so I can make my own worksheets. And so there's ways for note taking. And so there's ways that I use AI, but I would say that it's that ChatGPT is a little more sophisticated in the marketing languaging than Notion. But yeah, that's great to know.
And Celia, that you've really hit the nail on the head there, because what's happening, and why I don't recommend buying a bunch of other stuff yet, is because all the programs that are out there are going to be adding AI if they don't already have it.
Yes.
And they're all trying to figure out how to charge for it. Do we add on? Is it included? And that's going to shift over the next year, according to
Yeah.
all the experts. And you might pay something really outrageous right now for something that you end up getting free later on. So if you've got a system like you're talking about that you love and it has an AI add-on, great. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, then ChatGPT can really fill that gap until a lot of this stuff settles down and everybody figures out what to charge for what.
Totally, totally. And I think if you're like an innovator, like I just purchased, I'm on AppSumo, and so I'm always looking at like, because every day there's a new thing, and it's good because you're getting like lifetime deals. Like I bought Webinar Ninja in 2016.
Me too. I still have it.
Yeah, me too. And it's like $50 a month, $100 a month.
Yeah,
So
still will be lifetime, still use
exactly,
it. Yeah.
exactly. So those kind of deals are really great. But then also just not buying everything. I bought something, I returned it. But I did find a software that's more customized for online business owners that I paid like $300 for a lifetime, that outside of AppSumo. So I think people that are innovators with it are going to tend to put a little bit more money in to test different softwares and try things, and then take it to the client and say, hey, this is, this, I really recommend this, or I don't recommend that. Especially if it helps them get results faster. That's what it's all about. It's like, I'm going to invest in something ultimately to help myself and also to help my clients get results faster, better, save them money, all of that. So we get to decide where we're the guinea pig.
Yes. And on that topic, one of the things you have to be careful with is not only spending money on these things, but spending your time learning them and going down.
Yes.
You have to really be careful because, like I mentioned, I attended lots and lots of training on AI. And then I was like, okay, I've learned all I need to learn now. Now I'm, hearing the same thing over and over. Time to go back to work.
Yes.
Not go down that rabbit hole until something really new comes out that you want to participate in.
Yes.
So check yourself on that, because that can really be a time suck.
It's so true. It's so true. It's like what you said earlier, hiring the expert, to come in and like do the thing that they already know how to do versus spending all of your hours and hours. So as the owners of our businesses, we really have to decide, like, focusing on those money generating activities and not getting sucked down the rabbit hole of playtime on AI. Cause I know.
Oh my gosh, I had so much fun with it in the beginning. I'm telling you, I would put in something I wanted to write about. It would come up, and then I would say, write this like Oprah. Now write it like Steve Martin. I bet I spent a whole day just doing that. And it was so much fun. But then I went, what the heck did I do my whole day? It's just gone.
You just learned a new prompt here from Kathy, how to write make it sound like Oprah.
I'm telling you, it's fascinating. And it's also fascinating if you put yourself in there to see what it comes up with, right? If you're findable, if it really knows you. And it's almost scary how much it knows you sometimes, because it knows everything about me, including the tiara and everything else. So if I say write like Kathy Goughenour, boom, it nails it with the princess and the tiara and all that.
Wow. That's something good to go in there and test.
Yeah, test it.
Awesome, Kathy. Well, this has just been fabulous. And I loved all the areas. I love that we got to dive into talking about AI and hiring and pricing and virtual experts. And so in our show notes and everything, we're providing links to connect with you. But I know earlier you mentioned this service that you have where what do you call it? It's not a Rolodex.
It's virtual expert matchmaking, and that's the URL, virtualexpertmatchmaking.com, and it's a directory.
It's a directory.
Yeah, you can go there and literally put in whatever you're looking for, whether it's a general admin or active campaign or bookkeeping, and it'll pull up the people in my program, and it'll identify if they're certified or not. And then, of course, you have the opportunity to reach out to me and get a personalized referrals, because I'm happy to provide more than one.
Excellent.
And I do that because I want people to experience the difference that it really makes when you have that virtual expert level.
Yes. Well, I encourage all of our listeners, if you're hiring, Usually I don't know many business owners at that level that aren't, looking for the next team member, getting in the process of hiring. So definitely go check out Kathy's site, all that she has to offer. And yeah, and check out her directory as well of virtual experts. And maybe your next talent is there waiting for you.
And Celia, I just want to mention, no matter what your budget, I can really help you and guide you.
Okay.
I think you and I had talked a little bit about hybrid teams,
Yes.
where you do want those expert levels, but you also want some lower level people or prices, and the higher level can oversee the lower level. So
Yes.
whether you're looking for a hybrid team, your first hire, or your 25th hire, I'm here to support you and help you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for all of your wisdom. And I know we gave people a lot to think about. These are the kind of shows that it's like, I'm sure people are taking notes, and these are those, those takeaways and those nuggets that people want to hear, because it's real stuff. I mean, these are questions that people have every day, and you don't have to go be in a 30K mastermind or 50K mastermind to get it. And that's
right.
kind of,
I've been there and done that myself. And
yeah.
I've made a lot of mistakes, and I can help you avoid those mistakes.
Perfect. Well, we are so happy. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. This is Celia Faye Meisel with More Influence and Impact, and we will see you next time. Bye.